English with deck. Well, I am cream crackered. Wow, it's been a fairly epic day, all in all, Just a long one. Nothing bad at all. Just a long day, busy day. I did quite a bit of driving, quite a bit of waiting, quite a bit of eating, actually. I ate some great Chinese food earlier. Oh. And then some lessons, some more eating, picked up my daughter from her study club, bit more eating, some more lessons, and now we're here. Wow, it's been a fairly long day, actually, yeah. I think I left the house at 9 a.m. this morning, and we're now at 7:30 at night. Okay, so a reasonably successful day. Did quite a lot with my time. Not bad. And, all through today, what are the three things, the three items I have on my person constantly? What do you think? Some money? Oh, I wish. Now, I had a little bit of money, but not a lot. Okay, number two. Maybe you said a drink. Yes, I had it by my side, but not on my person, not in my pocket. A watch? No. By the way, I'm guessing what you're guessing here. If you guessed a phone, though, that is correct. And also number three, a set of keys. That is also correct. But today I want to talk a bit about phones and phone habits more specifically. We have so much information at our disposal. We can search anything and we can get the answer within a minute. We can learn anything within reason. Or we have the accessibility, the availability to learn it. Whether we can learn it obviously depends on other factors, but we have the potential to be able to. And that is all from this little, thin, fairly wide device known as a mobile phone. Imagine how it would have been to learn languages, to go about daily life 50 years ago with nothing like that. I can't really. I vaguely remember having some sort of like brick phone, as they are nicknamed. The really chunky, thick, heavy old phones. They're a good few centimeters thick, and they were probably about 20 centimeters long at a push. I remember those, but smartphones have always been a part of my life, so it's very difficult to imagine a world without them. And the reality of having all this information at our fingertips is, that it is too much. We have too much access, which is, and when I say that, I mean easily accessible access. We don't have to really think that much to find the information. We don't really have to try that hard to find the information, to remember the information. That's a different kettle of fish. But to actually just find and search for that information, it really has become ridiculously easy. And let's think about this. The first thing you do in the day, probably check your phone. I have actually really tried to just avoid this over the past few months to varying degrees of success. or at the very most, I try to avoid emails, messages, work-related things for the first hour at least, and even the news actually, um, especially these days, it's very depressing. So I just try to avoid the news simply because and other things as well on my phone, just simply to not feel well a dopamine hit, or even feel just brought down by the excessively depressing news out there at the moment. Of course, after I've woken up a little bit, I check the news, check my emails, la di da. And the reality of this screen time is that, well, obviously it has mental and physical effects. Our brain becomes, well, less organized, our brain becomes less focused, and our eyes become, well, damaged at the end of the day. And I am so guilty of this. I mindlessly scroll sometimes, and you're in like a trance. You're looking. Oh, oh my gosh! It's been 30 minutes, and it is like hypnotism if it's scrolling on social media. You know, it's so easy to get sucked in, and it is really important for ourselves to be able to, detach from our phones. Which is why I try to do 30 to 40 minutes, even an hour, with as little phone time as possible in the morning. And I should probably try in the evening as well, but, you know, needs must. But just to help you guys out a little bit, I've got some natural, easily memorable phrases for you. For example, I mentioned I am guilty of the doom scrolling thing, and then one that you could say with that is I check my phone way too much. I got stuck scrolling, and suddenly 30 minutes had passed. Just one more video, just one more article. I really need to cut back. So you can use that, try to remember some of those phrases, and feel free to use them in your daily conversation with your friends, with your family. And, I am sure many of you out there can relate. But of course, we should always remember there are plenty of good qualities about our phone and the internet. Without either of those, well, we probably wouldn't be where we are right now, listening to the sound of Deck English, English with Deck. So, there is some good points, some more negative points, but over the all, I do think that we do really need to be aware of how much screen time we are using. Okay, guys, as always, I hope you're having a fantastic morning, a wonderful evening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. Boom.